Yogeshwari. Suhag Jewelers, timeless jewelry for generations.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show Fight Against COVID-19. I'm your host, Dr. Shefali Agarwal. I'm very excited today to bring a special guest from Boston. With this show, a Fight Against COVID-19, we are able to talk to many people who are working behind the scene. Some are making masks, some are helping don't have food to eat, some are helping small businesses, some are providing food to from the restaurants to the healthcare workers, and some are frontline healthcare workers who are fighting this fight against COVID 19. Many people, many race, the whole community working together and trying to be connected without any concerns about where you are from and who you are. It's an amazing feeling that through this show we were able to connect to many people across the states around different places from Atlanta, Texas, Houston, and Boston. Very glad today we are very excited to bring Kim from Boston, who's going to talk about what she's doing and helping in this fight against COVID-19. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Kim. So, Kim, before we start this show, tell me a little bit about what you do, about your family, before we go into this fight.
Sure. Yeah. My name's Kim Slater. I'm an aerospace engineer by day.
Wow.
And I joined with a few local friends here in Boston to put this organization together just about a month ago.
And what is the name of the organization, Kim?
It's called Feed the Fight Boston.
Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing and what the organization is about and how many people are involved in this organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just four of us with a few helpers. Wow. We actually met online. This is a perfect quarantine story that we met through a website a Facebook page called Newton Neighbors Helping Newton Neighbors. And there have been all kinds of efforts. Like you said, the entire community is coming together. And through that Facebook page, we found each other and we realized we were all trying to do something similar, which is dual purpose, help local restaurants who were struggling and use that food to feed healthcare workers who were tireless and working long hours and facing really difficult circumstances.
Okay. So in terms of just a little bit, tell me a little bit what you do, how you do, and how is it all structured?
Yeah. So again, we met through the Facebook page, and in a perfect COVID story, we've never met face to face. And we four women would call ourselves good friends at this point. We've spent so much time.
Who are the four people?
The four people are Angela Spence, Karen Masterson, Leslie Schick, and myself, Kim Slater.
Wonderful. And so basically you lead this effort together.
We do. We call ourselves co-founders and everyone plays a part. And the four of us really have come together quickly and gotten it off the ground. We have a few other people that have helped with things like deliveries, but the four of us have really managed most of it. And what it started with was our very first week, we raised enough money to do a few deliveries, found a few restaurants, and really the hardest part was figuring out all the inroads to hospitals, identifying where the COVID cases were, where were the hospitals hardest hit, where were the healthcare workers really the most exhausted, the ones struggling with PPE, the ones working double shifts, the ones with most of the COVID cases. So once we solved what all of the hospital protocols were and what the hospital needs were, we just started marching through local restaurants that seemed to be struggling to try and help them by providing them some business.
So how does this, like people donate? What is the process in terms of you be able to provide food to the healthcare workers and restaurants could provide the food?
Yeah, so we have a GoFundMe site through our website, through feedthefightbos.com. We accept donations. 100% of donations go to feeding healthcare workers. So there's no fee taken off of it. Newton Rotary Club is our fiscal sponsor. So the GoFundMe goes directly to them so that donations are indeed tax deductible. And then we use that money directly to fund meals from restaurants. In many cases, restaurants are throwing in-kind donations, hundreds of meals coming from restaurants once we buy from them. The restaurant owners really have been extraordinary. They're doing as much as they can to keep their own employees employed. Sure. And so not only are we helping by buying meals from them, but we're also helping get them some publicity. So through this, they can show their own community how they're helping in this really critical fight.
Can you give some example of some of the restaurants you're supporting?
Oh, absolutely. Alana's Kitchen in Newton was one of our first. Mm-hmm. And again, where our focus is two things. It's the restaurants and the healthcare workers.
Sure.
So we recognize that with the amount of money we're raising, we can't keep any one restaurant afloat. Mm-hmm. But instead of sort of consuming all of our funds into one or two restaurants, we're trying to spread it around the community as much as we can and give them all a little bit of business and a little bit of recognition. Alana's Kitchen, the night before their delivery, they were making sandwiches and getting everything ready for the hospital delivery the next day. And they stayed up late baking cookies on their own. And they brought this massive tray of cookies in for the healthcare workers. And we learned an important lesson that day. That was our first week. And we thought, in a gown and a mask and gloves, if you're a doctor or nurse working all day, it's very hard to take a break and even grab a granola bar. So we were really excited that on these 12-hour days, we were providing healthy food. After the cookies showed up, we realized it's also lifting their spirits.
Absolutely.
Right? What most of the doctors and nurses and technicians and custodians will say is, wow, now we realize the whole community is out there helping us. It's not just us. We're not just living in this world. They're all out there helping us. So it provided much more than food. It really helped sort of lift their spirits and help them go back in and continue the hard work that they're doing.
So tell me a little bit about why you did this. What motivated you to do this?
Yeah, I couldn't speak for all four of us, but I know that we all just, like most of us during these insane times, we just felt compelled to do something and help in any way we could. And we all sort of had a similar idea. And in one phone call, we just started executing it and getting it off the ground right away. Within it was just over a week, we had already delivered about 1,000 meals.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So, in terms of, tell me some of the hospitals you have supported, like people who you actually provided meals to.
Yeah, it really started, if you can imagine, 4 weeks ago. Most of the COVID cases were at the biggest hospitals in Boston. Boston Medical Center is one of the primary ones, Brigham Women's, Beth Israel, and Mass General. So those four really big hospitals were where the sort of epicenter in Massachusetts was. Just in 3 weeks, that has evolved so much that our list of hospitals is almost 20 long. So Newton, Wellesley, Leahy, we've gone to the Field Site Hospital out in Worcester. The biggest one the last week or two has been a respiratory clinic that Mass General supports in Chelsea. So I'm sure you've heard in the news, many of the cases are expanding in neighborhoods like Chelsea, where people are, more densely populated. And those are the people that are going to work every day, helping with grocery deliveries, working in hospitals, and all of the essential workers. So not just in big hospitals now, but in all of these smaller clinics, as needs expand, we're following them every day with recommendations from the state.
So what are some of the challenges, Kim, that you face with this? I know it must not be completely easy, right?
It's time consuming. I would say the easy part is everyone's been passionate and helpful. The tricky part in the beginning, we're far past, is making sure we were doing it safely and appropriately, and that we were actually helping. So once we figured those channels out, it's really just been fundraising and executing orders and working with the individual restaurants. The restaurants have all just been so superb at stepping up. Moldova has supplied hundreds of meals on their own. The Russian Jewish Community Foundation here has provided 100 meals a week from the Bazaar grocery store. So every time we ask someone to help and try and give them an order, it's just been remarkable how much they're all stepping up on their own and throwing in, their own support and help when they can.
Let's look at your Facebook page. If people want to connect, can they connect through Facebook and webpage? Is that what they want to do? Yeah.
On Facebook, it's Feed the Fight Boston.
You can see it on the right side. Yeah.
And you'll see that Feed the Fight logo has cropped up in cities all over the U.S. When we started, we found a group in D.C. with a similar name. So we asked if we could build on their logo. So you'll see them everywhere. This is Dr. Dean Exeris. He's in Chelsea. Pharmacy is a local restaurant who's providing smoothies. You can see all those green bottles. So sometimes we provide a bunch of meals. You'll see, 50 and 100 meals at a time.
Yeah,
but we're also
on the bottom,
Yeah,
Yeah.
see those meals. So the
Yes.
piles of smoothies also help because there's lunch waiting, but if someone has a rush and they only have a few minutes, there's a really healthy protein packed smoothie, and we're trying to stock some of the fridges with those. The response has been extraordinary from people inside. If you scroll down, oh wait, you just the video, yeah, go for it. The that image on the bottom right, you can see on the back of that doctor's scrubs was a pretty amazing message.
Is that the one? If you can guide us.
Yeah, if you look down in that bottom right corner, yeah, that is not us.
No,
If you
you
go
have to
back
go
to the
back to the
main page,
Boston
yeah,
page. You have to go back to the page. But yeah.
yeah, see
Oh,
right there on the
that right
back of the
there.
scrubs, on
Go
the back
back a
of the
little bit.
doctor
Yeah.
scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says when the going gets rough, you can count on Tufts,
Well,
and
I
that was
love
Tufts Medical
that.
Center. And
Yeah.
to me, that was such a perfect image because you can see here's this doctor just in it saying, you know,
Yeah.
you can count on us. And then if you look in the background, you see all these doctors and nurses and technicians eating and food on the table, and you know, people smiling, even
If
when
you
you
can
see them
go,
in masks.
yeah, there it is.
See,
Wow.
isn't that great? How you can
Yes,
just see how they're taking a break. There's their food. By the way, you'll always notice it's always individually wrapped to
that's
make
amazing.
sure,
Yeah.
you know, people can stay safe and take it with them if they need to.
So, what do you feel when you do this? You see this great, saying on Facebook, and how does it feel?
Yeah, you can tell by the passion in my voice. I'm
Yeah.
so excited because I mean, you've probably heard this many times. We all approach this with a little bit of uncertainty and fear and trying to do our own jobs and raise our own families, and then seeing the sort of the horrors that people are experiencing out in the world, just really wishing we could help. And I know and respect everyone who's making masks and people I work with who are helping sort of increase the speed with which the antiviral drugs are being developed.
Yeah.
All of those things are so important, but in this very small way, even though it's just food, we feel like we're really
Of
making a
course.
difference on these
I
people.
I think like with this platform, this particular fight against COVID-19, we are connecting to so many people. So there's so many things people are doing, whether it's masks, it's face shields, PPE, food. Actually, food providing to homeless, right? I
Yep.
had a great person here who was actually providing free food to homeless and shelters. And also, I had a doctor just before you talking about what they are doing. And like you said, people are creating drugs. So it's the whole community together. And just our the show is basically trying to create awareness and connect people. So if people want to reach out to you, Kim, they can go to your website or this Facebook page and then either provide donation or help, connect you to restaurants who can help you in that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely connect. We have people who have started sort of regional efforts. We have a group in Lowell and one in Taunton who've set up more localized efforts, and we organize all of the deliveries for them through our not-for-profit partner,
Right.
the Rotary Club. So there are many ways to help. Donations are easy. We can also set up those regional efforts. If someone donates $500, we allow them to nominate a restaurant. So the way I look at that is if you had a group of people going out to dinner on a Saturday night and everyone was going to throw in 20 or $50, if you put that all together and you take that restaurant, we will help keep that restaurant open and we'll bring that food to people on the front line who really appreciate it.
So Kim, you're an aerospace engineer. It's so
Yeah.
different than you're doing today.
Yeah.
Food and restaurants. How does it feel? It's
I
amazing.
mean, it's easier. It's easier than rocket science. Yeah, at my company, we do scientific research and we fly all kinds of things in space. So I used to do work on the space station. I used to train astronauts.
Oh my
and work with
God.
mission control. Yeah, so it's probably this is a little. I don't want to say it's easier because it's a difficult challenge, but it's much more rewarding for the amount of work we've put into it. It's been a month, and we're all doing this on top of jobs and raising children, and look at what an impact it's making. And I don't want to talk too much about the four of us because this is hundreds of people who have been donating and all
Tell
of
me
the
a little bit
restaurants.
how many people have you supported so far? Like how many hospitals in number?
Oh gosh, so dozens of hospitals. So we're past 20 hospitals already.
Wow.
This week, we're doing about twice as many deliveries as we did last week. And some of them are smaller clinics, but we're getting out to more places. The restaurants in general waiving delivery fees and doing the deliveries on their own. So that's helping spread the cost further too. Instead of spending the delivery fee, those are more meals we're translating to hospitals. A week and a half ago, we reached the 5,000 meal mark. So we're approaching 10,000 meals.
Congratulations.
Soon, which is just extraordinary. But again, it's the entire community. We were just sort of the mechanism that helped it all come together. This has just been a huge community response.
Thank you so much. I think every drop counts in this fight, and everybody who's doing some way or the other helping is really amazing. It fills our heart, and from our show, we really want to thank you. Any message to the viewers before we leave?
Yeah, I would say that whatever way you're contributing, everybody has a different way of contributing. Even if it's sending a text to somebody who's struggling or supporting a doctor or a nurse, everybody has a way to contribute. And those are all different ways, and they're all so much appreciated. We'll all get through this together.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Kim. It's a pleasure to have people like you who are doing things selflessly without anything in return, all four of your group, and especially you, Kim. And thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate that. And to my viewers, please stay safe, practice social distancing, try to wash your hands, and just be home and be strong. Take care. Bye. Thank you, Kim, for being on the show.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.